This Equipment World video is brought to you by Chevron 600 ADF Ultra Low Ash Diesel Engine Oil. It's time to kick some ash. Hey guys, welcome back to Equipment World. You're watching The Dirt, the video podcast that's geared towards giving you news and discussions based on new equipment and just general happenings in the industry. Today's video topic is, should your business have a website? And I'm going to take it a step further than that even, and I'm going to say, should your business be on social media? Specifically Facebook and Instagram? Absolutely. 100% absolutely yes, but probably not for the reason you're thinking. So traditionally, let's kind of look at the landscape as it was. Traditionally, you were competing with fellow businesses for jobs. And I will tell you right now, every contractor I'm aware of that's worth anything is drowning in work right now. We absolutely don't have a shortage of work in the construction industry. And so what are you really competing for? You're competing for competent employees, because right now is everyone in the skilled trades, and it doesn't matter if you're a plumber, if you're a welder, if you're a pipe fitter, it doesn't matter what trade you're in, there is a severe shortage of quality and qualified employees. And that's the realm you're now competing in. So let's take a look at the landscape as it used to be when it came to looking for jobs. And what we're all familiar with is this environment where employees were actually out looking for work because we had a decent amount of people out of work or at least floating between jobs. And those people would generally come into the office, fill out an application, or approach you direct on the job site. The landscape has completely changed. You now have almost every single quality employee, potential employee, if you will, actually working at a job. And what's currently happening in the industry is those quality employees are looking at their options to see if they should go elsewhere or if they should stay put. And so that's what you're having to compete with, is whether or not your company is worth them leaving their current position to come over and work at your company. How do you convey that message without having a website, without having any sort of social media presence? Because the reality of the situation, all of these people are on social media and they're all on the internet. And when they're researching companies that they potentially would want to go work for, or if they're just kind of getting a general feel of the landscape around them, they're getting online. They're no longer going into an office to see what kind of building you have or how big your yard is or how new your equipment is. They're taking to social media. They're taking to the internet to Google your company. And what they want to be presented with is a nice professional website that not only outlines the scope of work you do, but also gives an idea of what kind of company you are. Are you a fly-by-night hillbilly with a shovel? Is that what your web presence conveys? Or are you a truly professional company that takes care of their employees, takes care of their equipment, and takes care of their customers? What kind of a face are you showing to the world when they Google your company? Likewise, social media has become an explosive platform to where people are not just posting videos of them operating and taking pictures of heavy equipment. These people are actually doing research. These are potential employees that are looking your company up on Instagram to see what kind of a presence you have, what kind of equipment you run, what kind of job sites you're on. These are all things people are looking for. And so at the end of the day, if you don't have a presence on any of these platforms, people look over you. People go elsewhere. You're missing out on the opportunity to get quality employees simply because you haven't placed any value on having a web presence or a social media presence. And it's just like business. That's silly to let those opportunities pass you by when you could be capitalizing on those opportunities. And let's be honest, the construction industry is one of the slowest industries when it comes to change, and especially when it comes to adopting technology. So the other benefit you have now by getting into social media, by establishing a very good professional web presence, is a lot of times you'll beat out your competitors in this realm because they haven't figured it out either. So it's really, really important. And I would say right now is the time to get going on establishing a good web presence, establishing a good social media presence, and really start reaching out to operators. Stop thinking of your website and your online presence as a way to get new business, because as I said before, no one's struggling to find work right now. Think of it as a way to get into the world of competing for quality individuals who will help you grow your business, who will be productive, and who will be worth the investment that you're going to put into them to bring them on board with your company. But before we get into that, I want to take a second to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Chevron Lubricants. Protecting your diesel engine and its exhaust aftertreatment system has traditionally been seen as an either-or proposition when it comes to choosing the engine oil that's going to protect your system. And that's exactly why Chevron spent more than a decade of R&D work developing a no-compromise formulation. Now, I don't have to tell you why a clogged DPF is bad news, but here's the real kick in the pants. 90% of that ash clogging up your DPF and then upping your fuel and maintenance costs, it comes from your engine oil. You might be thinking, why don't they make an engine oil with less ash in it then? You'll be happy to learn that Chevron agrees with you. They've developed a new ultra-low ash diesel engine oil that is specifically designed to combat DPF ash clogging. Dello 600 ADF with OmniMax technology cuts sulfate ash by 60%, radically reducing the rate of DPF clogging and extending the DPF service life by 2.5 times. Before you had to choose between protecting your engine or your aftertreatment system. Now you don't. Dello 600 ADF with OmniMax technology. It's time to kick some ash. Okay, so before we go any further, let's take a look at some examples of some websites I think that do a great job of conveying information that we've talked about, and they give you a good feel of who they are as well as what to expect as a future employee. Now, bear in mind, these are some larger companies, but at the same time, you don't have to be a large company to have a web presence and have a professional looking site. Okay, so our first company is either Viet or Viet. I'm sorry I can't pronounce the name correctly, but it's one of the two. But that being said, let's take a look at their website. Look at how professional the landing page is. It's very clear and concise. It has some really capturing clips of the work that they do. And then if you scroll down, it gives a little bit of information, very clear and concise about their company. It even has a quick about us right here on the landing page. If you go to our work, you can get into their projects. Again, like we were talking about, you want to show off what your scope of work is. You can see that they do some demolition, they do new construction. They've had various projects in both of those aspects, and you get a feel for what kind of equipment they run, what kind of projects they get into. It looks like we get into some specialty stuff here with our long reach Liebherr. So this is a great just general feel for what the company does. So as me, as a potential employee, I can come in here and this gets me excited. This looks like a really cool company to work for. It looks like you'll have a variety of work to keep me interested. I'm not going to get bored just building roads all day long or something along those lines. Now let's go to the careers tab. You can see open positions. There is a nice big button right here so that you can see what this company is hiring for. But why, this is the important part right here that so many guys miss out on. Why work for your company? And they have it listed right here, what they offer. Again, why should I come work for you? It's listed right here. This is a great presentation of not only the company overall, but also why you should come work for them. What do they have to offer you? And I know this is going to ruffle feathers and guys don't like to hear it, but we are in a landscape right now to where you as the employer need to tell me as the potential employee what you have to offer. It's not the other way around like it has traditionally been. So let's go to another one. This is Midwest Mold. This is one of my favorite sites I've stumbled across. These guys have a fantastic website. Again, right off the bat here, we have a very engaging picture. We have a very quick snippet of what they do. And then as you scroll down, they immediately start talking about their people. That tells me as a potential employee, their focus isn't just on the bottom line. Their focus is also on their employees. We also have a quick little blurb here about all the different aspects of the industry that they have their hands in. That's very helpful. But if we go back to the top, you can get into their projects. What do they do? Okay, well, we have multiple. It looks like they actually do the large scale tunnel boring machines. We've got all sorts of stuff that's going on here. You get a general idea of what the company's about, what kind of projects they work on. And then again, become a mole. Do you have what it takes to work at Midwest Mole? Okay, they offer a challenge. This is, again, why work for these guys? What do they have to offer? Here's your benefits package right here on the screen. Very easy to figure out what they're offering you. Yes, it doesn't dive into numbers. Obviously, no one's going to put that out there. But at the same time, they offer a pension, they offer paid training, and they offer healthcare. Okay, I get a really good feel as a potential employee about what these guys have to offer. Great website, very professional, but it's also concise. It's not a lot of fluff. There's not a lot of stuff that I really have to scroll around to get to the information I'm looking for. Another website that I found is Vertical Earth. These guys, not quite as crisp and clean looking in my opinion as the other two, but at the same time, what we do right here on the front page. You can go into the About Us section and you can hear a little bit about the company. You can get to know their leadership team right off the bat. So when you go into your interview, I don't have to feel nervous because I've already seen these individuals. I know who to expect. I'm not just going to show up at some random guy's office. And again, when we go to careers, we get into positions they're hiring, and then we scroll a little further. Now, in my personal opinion, I would have actually bumped this above the potential careers that they're looking for, just so that you have this information when you first hit this page. But at the same time, health and dental insurance, 401k, paid time off, like you have all of these things listed out. There's no ambiguity about what I can expect when I apply for these guys. One final website we'll look at is Brex Enterprises. This one, as you can see, it's not nearly as busy as the other ones. I tend to like the little bit of a busier page just because this looks a little plain in my eyes. But again, this is so nitpicky. How ridiculous is it that we're nitpicking dirt websites? But again, this is what your potential employees are doing. Your face, it's just like anything else. Your immediate face value is where everyone pulls their judgments from. And I can tell you right now, if it were me personally, I would probably be looking at Veet or at Midwest Mole to apply to, just because I tend to like their websites a little better. Now, I'm going to dive into this a little more than that, but just going off of the initial face value, I feel like their websites are a little cleaner and a little more, a little better done. That's not a knock on these other companies, but you have to understand that your potential employees are making these sort of judgment calls every day, and you're totally unaware of it. And that's what I'm trying to kind of open everyone's eyes to, is that this is happening on a daily basis for all of your potential employees. So again, we scroll down here. You've got a quick little About Us section, and then you get into services provided. And I can go in here and I can say, okay, they're in pipelines. They do some just general site work, it looks like. They have right-of-way services. It looks like these guys have their hands in quite a bit of stuff. So again, going back to what I was saying earlier, it doesn't look like I'm going to get bored at this company because they've got their hands in quite a few different projects. If I flip over here to the careers, look at this. A quick little snippet about what their company values, what they put their values into. And then again, we have all of our benefits listed right here. Not numbers, but you at least know if you apply for this company, there's health insurance, there's retirement plans that you can go for, there's on-job training, vacation and holiday pay. Now, someone might say pretty much everyone offers that these days. I have two rebuttals to that. First of all, no, they don't. There's a lot of companies that still don't offer a lot of those things. And secondly, how am I supposed to know that if you don't list it out somewhere? I'm not going to call your office to see if you guys offer it. I'm going off of my web searches, because in this world, as a potential employee, I don't have to go get in my car and drive anywhere. I don't have to pick up my phone and call anyone. I can do some Google searches about companies within my area, and very quickly I'll have 5 to 10 candidates that I'll be able to browse their websites, take a look at what they have to offer, like we've done here, and I can make a decision on who I'm going to apply for. And guess what? If your company doesn't have a web presence or an Instagram presence, I don't know you exist. That's the flat out honest truth. So that pretty much sums up today's discussion. I know this is relatively short. I wanted to keep this one a little short today because, as you guys are aware, the last couple episodes have been pretty lengthy with the interviews. And so I wanted to give you something kind of small and bite-sized that wasn't going to eat up half of your day. That being said, absolutely throw your opinions down in the comments below. Let's start a discussion on this topic. If you have ideas, if you have disagreements, by all means, drop them down in the comments and let's start a dialogue back and forth. I hope this has been helpful, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode of The Dirt.